So welcome to another exploration into consciousness with the Earth Nouveau Hubbers. We've come here together today to talk about stuff. Lots of interesting stuff that's going on. What's going on, guys, in your lives? We've got, what is today? The 16th. So we've got the equinox coming up soon.
Oh, man.
It's on Sunday.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, and I've got transformation going on. Look. Snake skin, my daughter said.
Well, I'm incognito with my camo.
I know I'm a day early. I know, but I'm going to be with kids. So I figured I might as well just wear them and have fun.
Well, the St. Patrick's Day parade was on Sunday, the 12th here.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I have a group of friends who grew up with my husband, 7 Irish brothers.
Oh, wow.
And so one of them always has a party on the parade day. So did a nice little communing with our Irish friends.
Is Mr. Corona's Irish?
No, he's Guatemalan and Mexican, but his friends who we grew up with here in San Francisco, 7 Irish brothers.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there's a lot of Coronas, I take it. A lot of Coronas.
Yeah, those are the Harveys. We don't talk about them too much because when they're around, it's crazy town.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Hi, Irina. How are you today?
I'm good, guys. Hi, I missed this time. Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, no worries. No worries. There's no such thing as late.
Yeah.
How's family's okay? Oops.
Oh, you're asking about situation in Ukraine?
Yeah, just about the family.
Yeah, it's still going on. And as we all do, we look from our point of view, you discover new connections, new things that you can look into and adjust and cancel. So I was this morning, I'm still formulating how to put it into words, but I came to this deep trauma looking at that situation. Soul shock, guys. I was shocked. I remember in Andrew's sharing and talking about our galactic history, he was talking about moment when we changed from non-free will to free will. Anyone remember that moment that he's sharing? Anyone? No?
Yes, he said that the universe changed from non-free will to free will in an instant. The whole universe became free will just in a second. In one instant.
And yeah, exactly. And he is talking about what we did before. In my mind, immediately this image of druids appearing when they were waving hands and connecting with nature and opening portals, closing portals, doing all that, what we call magic, but it was our normal existence. At that time, it stopped working. They were doing the same procedures, they were doing the same connection to Earth, but it wasn't supported by Earth and even universe. They lost that connection to Earth through heart, through oneness of heart, unity of heart. And they stepped into free will choice. Now you need to choose. It's not Earth supporting collective choice. You, everyone choosing something. And this was a soul shock at that moment. Am I too much already? I'm still processing. I'm very excited looking into this thing because we are today in a moment of stupor. on soul level for many, many people, and only slapping across the face for some people will make them wake up and remember something more than just human existence, physical existence.
I was just talking with my good friend who, you know, does healing work and psychic work, and we were talking about just exactly the same thing. But what I was seeing, Irina, is that when the Earth dropped in density, is when all that like shock happened for everyone.
It's like a chicken and egg. It's you can't even define what was Earth drop in density, or first it was that soul shock and then Earth drop in density. But Andrew describing it as we start to judge and we created sacred wars. This is how we justified experience of Earth, of war on Earth. So today, when we see this violence and wars that must end, it's not going even in our understanding why we are fighting, yes? Why we need to fight. It's not normal, it's not human. Yeah, to kill, to be violent, to be barbaric. Yeah, so that's why in my vision, we still have those pieces of barbaric experience on Earth, because we have that soul shock thing. And for some people, you need to be shaken a lot, like violated, even physically violated, to wake up, to say no more. I need to remember. So this is what came to me this morning. I was laying still in my bed processing this message, and I came to the soul shock thing. And you know, that soul shock, this is in physical reality, what taking from people excitement of experience and handing their hands down, despair. I can't continue, it will violate it anyway. That type of experience, that type of energy. And you know, this is what taking that excitement of experience from people. They are still in that stupor. And can you imagine from that time, because it's soul shock level, so deep. So this is kind of like event today that is giving us opportunity, finish with that presence of barbaric experience on Earth among humans as even possibility. This is my vision. This is my message today. Thank you for listening. I believe you got what I'm touching, yes? This is that sacred wars. It's not a war for peace. What is that? What is that? It's just not explainable by humanity, by heart, by who we are, our essence. And this event in Ukraine. This is kind of like opportunity for humans to say, in 21st century, we still have this barbarism going on, that cruelty, bombing, death. For what? In the name of what? Human being doesn't understand that at all. So we need to heal that shock, soul shock. I'm now working on post with little revocation, and I will post it in my Facebook thing, like a statement. This is my type of involvement. This is what I can do. Yeah, but we need to heal that soul shock. We don't need violence anymore to remember that. It's already in the air, and you can find it among human beings, that violence doesn't make any sense. War doesn't make any sense. You're not gaining anything by fighting, nothing, zero. Yeah.
Thanks, Irina. Thanks, Irina. And it's so nice such a nice recap you've just done. Yeah. Because look at the energies when this is actually happening. Look at what, you know, we're coming up to the equinox. This is all about, this equinox is all about starting to recognize the bigger picture, you know, with the energy supporting that. And you've just so lovely emanated that, because we've been talking about bloody soul shard integration for forever. But you just come in now and say, oh my God, yes, I'm doing it now. I'm getting it. We get it when we get it. And with the context, because of your connection and everything, now it's becoming completely real for you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And with my point of view, how I look at events, it just opening the depth of the trauma that is happening today on the ground in my country, in my city. Yeah.
So the important thing now is for anyone else who is experiencing that, you know, that there's lots of people out there who are experiencing that, is now call the shards back, all your fighter pilots out there, all those shards, all those unhealed versions, integrate them, help them heal, send them into the void, send them into a different universe if they don't want to stay here. And don't get entangled with this whole thing. This is an opportunity for us to call back those fighter shots. Yeah?
Exactly. And celebrate remembering. Remember, you had this program with Andrew that remembering, celebration of remembering, it's ascension. And this is everyone wants that cardinal change on earth. Returning to peace, returning to joy. And this is what we can do. Cancel all those contracts, vows, agreements for that experience and heal that soul shock. Just with canceling, that healing will happen, because like you said, yes, universe supporting that. This is where universe going today.
That's it. So we're no longer just talking about it. We're actually now starting to perceive it. We are starting to embody it. We're literally bringing that light back and get rid of the one who doesn't be here. And going back to your question, does this make sense, this whole situation? Well, yeah, it does. Exactly for that reason, because it helps the people to really wake up even more, right?
Even unconsciously. When you go through this event and you see, and people going on the streets in many, many, many places all over the world, this is, they may not understand this level of experience, but they feel something. And this is what they say, no war, no war. And this is what we want, no war at all. As experience, it must cease at all.
And it's also that energy of what is going on. It's that, like, what is this? It's almost like an energy of confusion. Some people don't even think along the lines anymore that there is a possibility for war. It's like that innocent way of looking at it, that total confusion with it's a sense of unawareness, but at the end of the day, it's an acknowledgement of what's happening. As you say, they're integrating that energy on an unconscious level. And I think that works very well with the energies that we're working with a lot at the moment as well. More and more going to the edge of unknowingness as well. You know, not everything has to completely make sense or be logic, or has to be completely understood on a logical level. Yeah. So let's actually look at that. I just look at it. We've done so much on the soul integration. There's so many amazing, revocations out there we can use. And I look forward to reading yours too, Irina. But actually something comes up here right now as I speak. It's like, we talk about the mind or the brain, the heart and the gut. And we want to come into this alignment. For me, this upcoming equinox is now all about coming into, we talked about this before, but now it's like you say, start really integrating the alignment between the brain, the heart, and the gut. That's what this is all about, because once we start really working in alignment on the physicality, on the biology, we are automatically starting opening up to the multidimensionality. We've done enough on the logical level now. We understand the bits and pieces, but now this is now the time to start integrating that and start working, trabajo from this trabajo. Learning Spanish, I'm so happy. Working from that place, of alignment. Now, let's look at this as we're sitting around the fire, right? Around the fire. Just hold some hands for a moment around the fire. And let's just call in all the guys, whoever wants to join us, all the pre-cognitive workforce, the post-cognitive workforce. And today I'd also like to invite the ones beyond. I'd actually like to start inviting the energies beyond the ocean of awareness, beyond the sea of consciousness, so that we have an opportunity to be taken completely to the edge of unknowingness, beyond the prime creators. We don't need to really know what that means. And let's just see who is coming in. Just get the energies that are coming in here. And then we're going to, as we're there, we become the teachers for that realm again. Because remember, this is what this school is all about here. We are teaching not just beings with bodies, but the ones without the bodies as well. And they are the ones we're actually needing to start asking to really come in and start supporting what we're doing here, what's happening here. Because that is part of this multidimensional living, to start working with them, having more conversations with them as if they were sitting next to us. And then let's just show them what a brain-heart alignment looks like. Let's just go into that energy and show them what that looks like. And how does that look different to a misalignment? Show them both, because you can go from one state to the other. Show them a misalignment and then show them an alignment. And then also I want you to be aware now. Look at the brain. And take a moment to check if the brain is in competition with the heart. And wherever the brain is in competition with the heart, can we destroy and uncreate that? And if it's not the case, that's fine. And then let's look at the brain being in competition with the gut. If that comes up, then let's destroy and uncreate that too. Let's destroy the gut being in competition with the heart. And the brain being in competition with the gut or the heart. And then any competition that we haven't put into correlation here, let's just destroy and uncreate all those connections that we have between the heart, the brain, and the gut. And let's destroy and uncreate all of that. And then look again what it looks like being in brain-heart alignment. There might be just a difference in the light that you're emanating, or the colors, or, And then also see the correlation, see how the unseen connects to us with the differences. And then just pick up any questions. Are there any questions from the unseen, from those, around us that want to know more about that, or want to point something out to us? Or anything that comes up on any other level. And then throw them up. Just ask them or comment. Whenever you're ready, anyone.
So there's the question of transcending duality. I think a lot of beings who are of higher density, who aren't experiencing duality, that, you know, competition, have a hard time understanding, right? And Irina was talking about war, and we don't need it. War, what is it good for? We don't need it anymore. You know, and that's transcending duality, right? The competition, the, you know, me versus them, whoever, you know, them are. Why do we need that? Why can't we work in cooperation? So there's an ununderstanding from those beings in those higher density realms, and so much compassion and love for the process that we are all working through.
So can we ask those beings to help us a little bit here, to assist us, because we've come from duality. We've been experiencing duality for so long now. Have they got any good tips for us to make that transition from duality into singularity in the wake time easier? What do they say when we ask them that question?
All about love. All about love and compassion, and seeing things from the other person's perspective, right? And understanding that sometimes it's our perspective too. We back way up. Yeah, and I mean, they're preaching to the choir here. Yeah.
I hear them tell me it's not your war. Like, it's not really even something that has to be part of our reality, because it's not our war. It's not something we're participating in, we're creating. It's just going on around us in the background as a distraction or a control mechanism. So to like disconnect from it, it's not our war. That's what they tell me.
I'm also getting the reminder that it is a process. It is a process. And part of this process is to acknowledge that the war itself is part of the process and has to be there as a shadow aspect. So I'm being guided back to non-judgment. You know, do what you have to do for yourself and being compassion with the love and everything, but don't take one thing better than the other. Peace is not better than war. It's all part of the process. Irina.
Yeah, I stepped immediately into universal laws on that level of existence. I missed, I don't know, flew through everything, and I stopped in that part already. You know, I already shared what I'm doing in life, my interest, my major thing, it's a heart. And what you were talking about, connection between heart and brain, between brain and gods, heart and gods. Yes, in my existence for a long time already, I'm centered in my heart. But I'm not turning off my brain. I'm teaching my brain. I'm teaching, I'm sharing with my brain. I'm remembering, I'm making logic of the brain see bigger picture. And remember bigger picture, what we are doing as human beings, what we are doing as universal beings. I'm connecting into this layers of existence, and I see it as one. And this is one of universal laws. One is all is one. Yeah, that a lot of scientists today working to create formula that will bring everything in one thing, like Nassim Haramein, for example. Yeah, he is a scientist, so his brain is working logically. He must. He is physicist. At the same time, he is talking about layers, and you can't disconnect those layers. So he is trying to create that formula for everything, working on how we can experience that, being even in human bodies. Then another thing, what you put out, you receive back. It's another universal law. This is exactly no judgment. Yes, we stepped into judgment when we received that soul shock, when the change to free will experience was installed in our universe and on earth. We stepped into judgment and we justified wars at that time. And remember, war is not experience of this universe. It's not experience of heart. And at the same time, you can't explain looking only war and love. It's all the time, like Jen said, manipulation. It's domination and control presence. Remember, they never took really any side. They were observing that experience, that part of experience of duality, and they were just manipulating and using war or love as they wanted to survive, to continue in that experience. And again, when we look at that from this position, this remembering, you can make your statement because you have your sovereign free will, and it works. If you remember from where it's coming, what kind of experience it was supporting, and where it's going to the universe, you can make your statement supporting universal direction. And this is what I do. I make my statement as revocations. I say what I cancel, and then I say from now on, this is what I want. This is what I support. And universe listening. The more of us will make that statement, what is your personal choice for experience today? Even it's still going on, like you said, it's a process. But if you make your statement, you are making that drop in a bucket. And at some point, that bucket just turns. And we will come collectively into that experience that everyone desires today. No wars, no judgment, no violence, no suppression, oppression, domination, control, not all of that, any of that. But you can start live in that reality today personally, really, even in the midst of the most not explainable by heart experiences. You can still be that. Even in the middle. Not taking sides, like you said, yes, not taking sides. Because the moment you took side, you're already supporting something against something. And it's not working. That's why my type of existence today, I hold two existences already at once. One, it's my human experience. What's happening in 24/7, each moment, each day, and during a year, whatever. And at the same time, I all the time hold picture, bigger picture, that universal experience, what consciousness experiencing through what kind of events. And I'm connecting those two. But I have those points all the time in my vision, in my perception of any event, because without that holding universal bigger picture, some things you can't even understand, can't even explain, and you will be pushed to make choice and make your choice of side. And this is where you lost, already lost. At the moment of choosing side, it's done. Yeah. So I saw already geometry. I saw movement. I saw all that flow when everything unfolding, having experience and not bumping into anything else, and everything in harmony. This is what I saw.
I agree with you, Irina. I'm there right with you. The human experience and then the bigger picture experience. But I wanted to say that yesterday, David Ellis and Amir had a 1 hour radio show like we do. And they really talked about staying in the sacred neutral and not to take sides. And if you guys get a chance to listen to it, do that, because I found they took a higher perspective of the bigger picture, talking about what is happening and really not taking any sides. And this way you can move out of the duality experience. So yeah, I get you. I hear you. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you for being part of this discussion and kind like making your personal choice inside. And my vision, you can't be passive, but how you can be active, not taking sides. This is that thing when you make your personal statement with bigger vision, not shallow, not just human experience, because without bigger picture, human experience not explainable today. It's too narrow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
basically,
I like what, one second. I like what you say, not taking sides, but also not be passive. Be proactive, pro peace, and everything that goes with that. So when you make your statement that you're not taking sides, you're still active in what you want to see in the universe, in the bigger picture of the universe. Because if you don't say anything, then the universe wouldn't hear you saying anything and would think you don't want anything, that you're happy right where you're at. But if we want to see a better experience for ourselves in the bigger universe, then we have to be active in saying that to the universe, so the universe can hear what we're wanting for ourselves. So thanks for saying that. Sorry, Martina, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries at all. I was just saying with any personal statement, you are claiming and fortifying your reality. Yeah, it's got nothing to do, if anyone, even nobody reads it, with you're doing this in the unseen. You're calling in your soul shards. You're fortifying your apex and say, come on, guys, let's get back into this. Let's sort this out. We are choosing something different. And then, of course, when you use your own voice and you record it in your voice and everything, then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper with everything, with everyone. It's, you know, it's with every manifestation that we do, with every fortification, we are claiming our own potency back from the system.
Exactly. And one person at a time, we are changing the world. You start to live that reality that you want for everyone. So everyone closer to that reality for everyone. And they will see you doing that, and they will start to be active without taking sides, without fighting, without judgment, without denying, without any of that no, 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 no. Everything will be yes, 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 yes. And life will become brighter and brighter with each person remembering that. And this is a real ascension in a flesh.
Individual journey. By choosing our individual path, we're adding to the love consciousness and the compassion consciousness that Tanya has mentioned early on, because everything is consciousness. Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. So every little drop, Irina said, is most powerful. Especially where we are starting to create many, many different earths, already have, you know, many, many different holograms. And it's just the question, which hologram do you want to spend more time in? Yes, you can appreciate all of them, start acknowledging all of them. But then at the end of the day, through focus and intention, you still got to choose one. Which one is the one that you want to, you know, spend most of your time with, in, and create with? And I think that is the invitation for this equinox, for this time that we're living in as well. You know, it's that multidimensional acknowledgement. And for me, of course, because of, you know, I always love the down to earth approach. So what are the tips? What sort of tips? How do we do it? It's often for me just to throw one in. It's very simple. It's just having a conversation with the unseen, going in the flow. And I just found a couple of recordings I did last year, March last year, where I started after meditation, I started just recording 10-15 minutes, talking. Somebody would say channeling, but I don't, you know, I don't say that, but just talk, whoever comes through, and have this conversation. And the more fluent it becomes, the more you are actually doing it.
And I want to add, on human level, boots on the ground, who we are. Just be honest with yourself. What is taking your happiness away? What is taking your excitement to build? What is taking your joy to smile? What is that? And looking into that, just cancel that stuff. And this would be your statement. I don't want that energy anymore in human experience.
Absolutely. And that will translate then into situations in our daily life where we have to make the choice to say yes and no to situations we don't want to be in anymore, people we don't want to talk to anymore, you know. And yeah, the separation of density does a lot of that anyway. The people just disappear. But, you know, there's still, you know, there is a lot of, once we open ourselves up, again, it's really a matter of choice. Choose, and reminding yourself that choice is really the thing.
And being in control of your thoughts. Not focusing on the things that you don't want, but keeping in your thoughts what you do want, so that you're not bringing yourself down or creating what you don't want, because you're creating what you're thinking about.
Yeah, it's that resistance thing. Everything that we resist persists as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like no more, you know, defending and agreeing and, you know, and rejecting anything and in having these conversations. There's no point. You're just wasting your energy. For me, it's often, you know, I just look, okay, am I wasting my energy here? Yes. What could I do with that energy right now? I had this thing with my daughter this morning. I don't know, it's full moon and God knows what. She's having a go at me and I'm like, nah, not having this. Just walked out. And it wasn't
it's like
mad or trying to teach her a lesson or anything. I just didn't want to be in this energy. I'm thinking, no, I'm not having this. Lana, sorry.
Yeah, it's what Jen is what like Andrew would say, what you focus on will look back at you. And I tell that to people nowadays. I said, why are you focusing on this and this and this? What you focus on will look back at you. So stop focusing on things that don't make you happy. Focus on the things that you want in your life. And that's what will look back at you. And that would bring you, if you're focusing on peace and harmony and not war, then that would look back at you. And that's how you transcend and you change the reality around you.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No, go, Irina.
And at the same time, you don't want to stick your head in the sand, hide from that thing that you don't want. That's why it's proactive period now. If it's still in your vision, it's in front of you, it's telling you something. You do have that vibration inside of you, maybe suppressed, maybe very deep, maybe very ancient. But if you see it, it's still in you. Maybe not active, maybe it's dormant, but still in you. That's why this type of action make your statement and cancel what you don't like to see. Even not participating. Say again, Jen.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Irene. Just what do you want to replace it with? So I cancel that, and what do I want to replace it with?
Exactly. Make your statement. Not that anymore. We're done. I'm done. I'm personally done. I cancel all those contracts, vows, agreements that support that type of experience. And from now on, this is what I'm choosing. And then step in your joy, describing what you want to feel. And this would be the biggest signature, your signature under your statement, your joy. Because excitement, bliss, this is that emotional body that is supporting higher consciousness experiences. Yeah, this is my vision. This is my action. This is what I'm doing for many years already. And I share with people how they can remember what they don't want to experience anymore and what to do with that thing. How to step into your real excitement, into your real intention for experience. Yeah, because
Well,
if
you were
you're not active in recognizing that if you see it in front of you, it is inside of you. Otherwise, you won't even understand. You won't see it. It's not in your field.
Okay, so Irina, let me invite a more expanded, an even more expanded thought here, because the more multidimensional we become, the more awareness we will have, and things will come into our field more and more and more. Yeah, they're not going to go away. They will still be there. It's just a matter of not choosing them, as you say, and not lingering there. But the level of awareness is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we need to be ready for that. It's almost like the mirror principle that we are discussing here is great and true and everything, but at some stage, everything, because we become that oneness. And once we understand that, everything is within us and everything is outside of us, and it becomes really a question of what is it. Choice becomes the ultimate tool and the purpose at the end of the day, because whatever we are clearing, it's not going to go away. It's still available everywhere in the field.
Exactly, Martina, you're completely right. But difference, if you still have insight not healed, and between then being aware of everything, becoming everything in moment of triggering, if it's still not healed inside of you,
Yes.
that trigger outside will trigger you personally. You will be emotionally triggered. This is the difference only. So whatever triggering you from outside picture, this is what showing it's not healed inside of you.
Correct.
And then, yes, you see everything because you are everything. But it's not triggering you. It's not taking your happiness from you. I call that process turning mirrors into movies of my life. You know, when you had experience and you were involved in that experience, but then you went through that experience and now you're looking at that experience as movie. It's not triggering you. It's not mirroring you anymore. It's just showing, oh yeah, I did it. It's that point of recognition. I had that experience, but it's not triggering you personally anymore. And you see it in a world, and you can expand your active participation even more wider. Whenever I see something in a world and it's not triggering me personally, I'm not turned on emotionally. But yet I see it in a world and I don't like it. I don't see it as our future for entire humanity, for entire universe. I make my statement again. I say, all those beings and those forces who are still reinforcing that experience on my earth, in my universe. Thank you very much. Your service was great, like Andrew was teaching, but you no longer need it here. You must leave this experience for good. And this is another layer of clearing and bringing desirable experience for you personally, and have that co-creation with like-minded people who already expanded.
Exactly. Choice, 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 choice. That's the thing. It's like the difference between awareness and judgment is, like Irina said, it's the trigger. You can be aware of what's going on around you. If you're not getting triggered, you can just be the neutral observer of it. As soon as you get triggered, you know there's something going on that needs to be healed. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify, because if people think, you know, it's only going to be goody do stuff now going to happen to us when we're healed, that is not correct. Yeah. You will still see the mess, but you can just observe it and walk away, or assist from a place of compassion and sovereignty.
Exactly.
Tanya.
It's like you will see the mess, but you will not be affected by the mess. And
Exactly.
so, yeah. And so usually when I would make my statements, I would say it is why the 18th universe was created, for activities like this, to move over to the 18th universe and no longer to be a part of the universe that I'm living in, this universe. And so the 18th galaxy and the 18th universe was created just for that type of activity. So they can shift right over there and continue with their shenanigans of what they want or how they want to behave, you know? So that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
Very nicely put. I love it. Yes, this is the point today of clearing our house. We invited in our house everything and everyone was sitting around the table, having this fun experience with wars, domination, control, limitation of duality, all that thing. We got our mastery. We are masters of limitations. Everyone now knows this is where consciousness can go. You can't go lower. We're done. Now we are clearing house. We are saying, thank you very much. It was nice party. Now you need to go home. And for
That's
them,
right.
for those, yes, for those who want to continue wars and domination control experience, 18th universe, they're home now. Not this one. This one, we are returning to everything based in a heart, brain, God connection and harmony. Yes.
Yeah, you remind me of a saying that Jesus said in the Bible. In my father's house, there are many mansions. Now, the 18th universe is like a huge mansion that was built just for them. So it's brand new. It's got everything in it. They can just move over from our house to this brand new house, you know?
So Jane is just saying the off-world beings around the fire say that what it's like for them right now. They see it happening, but they're separate from it. They're just observing and tangling with it. Well,
Yeah, when Lana was talking, they were saying like that's how it is for us. Like,
yeah.
and if people say they're not coming to save us, why aren't they coming to save us? Well, they'd be entangling with it if they came to save us. So that's what they were saying, like you get us. That's how I heard it when Lana was talking.
That's why, I'm sorry.
No, I just said thanks for sharing that.
That's why they can't be part of our experience actively. They are choosing just observer position. And they work through us only. They can't step. But I will be very excited to see those different dimensional beings working among us in their bodies. I would be. So I invite them, take position. Be active, not just observers.
Me too.
Tanya, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about triggers, because from my perspective, I've done a lot of personal healing. I mean, I think we all have. And staying in that sacred neutral position doesn't mean something's not going to come up, or a layer of something isn't going to come up again. I mean, to me, I see, self-healing as a lifetime process, because we're processing so many things. We're processing other lifetimes, we're processing DNA lineage, energy. And when those triggers come up, right, I've gotten to the point where I can be non-reactive, right? I don't have to be in it. I can say, oh gosh, yeah, that triggered me. And what is coming up, right? So, I think that even though, we are moving to that state of unity, right, within our multidimensional selves, it doesn't mean things don't come up, because there's always another layer, right? There's always another fold in the paper that, oh, wait, there's some dirt in there. There's some trauma and drama. And, oh, look at that lifetime that I participated in. And how can I come to a neutral place of love and compassion around that, right? And just because we get to that state of non-reactivity and open multidimensional awareness doesn't mean things aren't going to come up.
Absolutely. And thanks for throwing that in. I'd actually expand that anyhow, because sacred neutral for me doesn't necessarily mean that we're not responding or become despondent or become everything's positive. No. For me, sacred neutral can very much be also allowing myself to actually step into certain emotions, even if it's anger, if that is required in the moment. Because sacred neutral does not create in a polarized setup, in duality as such. Yeah, so we have to know where we're at. Which hologram are you actually in at the moment? And does getting angry create more? Is that a kindness? Anger, there's nothing wrong with anger as far as I'm concerned. It's, for me, sacred neutral is now looking at anger, for instance, because that's a nice one to use, from a positive and a negative angle. It's a sacred neutral observation that anger is sometimes required. It can be a kindness to wake people up.
What time are you talking? It's not trigger, it's remembering.
Sure.
It's remembering, but it's not triggering you. It's not pulling you or pushing you to react. You already completely in your grounding state in all your connections. So it's not really trigger what you are talking about. It's remembering. Yes, of course, it's so much fun to remember what we went through. And we are here in this critical moment of turning everything around for that purpose as well, to remember. Like Andrew saying, it's our currency, our memory, our remembering experience, it's our currency. So we came here to collect everything we could. Okay. So that thing is not triggering you. And what Martina added to that, it's wonderful thing. You put it into words. Yes. When you already healed yourself inside, then you use whatever you need to use in this logical world, but you're not pointing that emotion. You're not using that emotion without your conscious awareness that you're doing it. You're already completely in charge of how you use, what you use, depending on situation. And you're not judging those people. You're not fighting with those people. You're just being what needed in a moment in particular situation. And it is joy, actually, even to show and use that anger, like Martina saying, it is joy and celebration. And when on other side, someone can understand what you're doing, then you can co-create together. You can celebrate together. You can laugh together. And this is that goal. Well,
it's that very simple question sometimes when you first of all, when you have the time to ask a question, yourself, then you already know you're not in reaction. Then you know there's a level of awareness there. And then you can say, okay, so what actually creates more here? What creates the most here? If I just go in with a certain intensity, or if I just walk away, or that kind of thing. It's really that's a good question to ask. What creates more here? Depending, and at the end of the day, it's all about awareness. It's all about awareness. What is required in the moment? Do I have to shout? Do I have to scream? Do I have to cry? Do I have to manipulate? Do I have to get myself out of here? You know, that's all sacred neutral as far as I'm concerned.
And again, returning to your vision and bringing the topic that we have brain logic, we have heart logic, if you can call it, we have gut logic. When we're stuck in one of those and not allowing to use harmony of three of them, then you can step into personally perceived situation and insisting on some kind of logical actions. And this is not helping. And the hardest for humanity today, we're stuck in our brain. A lot of human beings still stuck in our brain and looking at heart truth and gut truth from position of brain truth only, not allowing to see they need to work together. No one more important. And this is what I see problem for a lot of people, because for them, what they are saying, what they are doing, it's totally true. And you can't judge them because this is where they are today. They stuck in logic of their experience from point of view only brain explanation, brain logic.
Yeah, that is definitely, I would say that I've had experiences with that too. And then I would like to also add something. One of the experiences probably from my own background, where I've overcompensated from a place of ignorance or unawareness, the gut. Yeah. And that's very often connected when we move around a lot and, you know, we leave our countries and everything. There's often, especially when the heart is not necessarily very developed through a slightly programmed upbringing, let's call it that, you know, where do you go? Some people go into the brain completely and some go into the gut. And then everything becomes very important, you know, is gut feeling, you know, gut feeling, it feels, you know, butterflies, this and that. And that can be equally misleading, just like the brain. Yeah, that has been my experience, that I've been misled by my gut because my gut had to take over what the heart wasn't. The heart was so imprisoned that the gut took over.
Just to survive and move through your experience. But again, it's coming from trauma, not from your wholeness.
No,
when you really understand God, brain, and heart working together, you want to have that gut feeling. This is what giving you some nice colors of your experience as human beings, make your choices much easier. When you can trust your gut and it's not from trauma, that what you're feeling from your gut brain.
Let me take you to the edge. I want to go to the edge. Let's explore the edge on that. Because I want to be, personally, I don't want to be brain or heart or gut. Yeah, I want to have an alignment of all of it, that my choices become simple, not more guided by one or the other, but very much from a place of knowingness or unknowingness. Just like there's almost no emotion behind it. Think of there is no sensation behind it. Making choices that just, I don't even want to call it feel right. You just make a choice and you're almost like surprised that you took it. And it was exactly the choice that you had to make. From that alignment.
But it's not even choice. It's like you said, it's knowingness. It doesn't have any judgment connected to that action. You already know, and this is how it's supposed to be for you. And believe or not God, not brain doesn't have that ability to know. They will all the time connected to personal experience of a level of consciousness you are existing in. It's only heart, if you know what heart is, not from explanation of human logic heart, but from explanation of universal creation, what heart is. This is what only that place contains, that knowingness, without needing to prove, without needing to explain, without any logic that we are using as human beings in 3D level of consciousness having experience.
Absolutely. And I think that sometimes, and maybe it's just me, but sometimes, people, when they think they make a decision from the heart, it has to be lovey-dovey and all smiley and all that. That's not what a heart decision is.
Exactly. No, not at all.
Choice that you make. It's a choice that you make that is guided by that connection.
It's a universal connection to our level of existence. This is true explanation and understanding of heart. It's not what we call heart as human experience of heart. Remember when I was sharing about my work, I was talking about 2 heart chakras.
Mm-hmm.
So what people talk about, that love and everything, it's an upper heart chakra. This is that experience of human without remembering of universal. But then when you step into depth of your heart and what we call lower heart chakra, it's even physically different places in our chakra structure. It's 2 different places. But when we step into that depth connection, what heart is, what is that spiritual technology, that connection to universe, then you touch universal flow, then you touch the truth of universe without logical explanation of our level of existence only, everything coming together. And you understand why those people did that way, why I am doing this way. You can see all of that and it's not triggering you anymore. And you're not judging, and you don't want to make only your truth as truth, and everyone's it's like, no, they are wrong. No, this is where you're stepping into that entirety of this experience, and at the same time, you are still human being. You can choose your personal experience. This is that knowing coming from. When you understand depth of your heart as universal spiritual technology that is only connecting you to knowingness. Nothing else will connect you to knowingness as knowingness.
So yeah, so the energy attached to that is knowingness, trust, and authenticity, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
Yeah, I intuition doesn't work for me anymore for some reason.
You don't trust your intuition. You kind like put on a corner seat your intuition and still looking, can I trust you or not? But because it was deceiving you so much during your previous years of experience on earth. So you may work on that. It's still kind like in neutralized trauma. It's not bleeding, it's not aching, but it's still not accepted into who you are.
It's just, I've just out-created it. I've worked with intuition for so long, but I think I always had it connected to the gut more than anything else. And as an energy, it just doesn't work anymore because I got trust, authenticity now that works for me much better as an energy.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Well, I actually want to get to the stage where it doesn't make sense anymore, because this is the next level for me. As long as it makes sense already, I'm like, okay, there's something missing. So let's go to the edge of unknowingness, I want to go beyond all of that. But I mean, that's obviously the level of contemplation that I'm after. After all of that, karmic resolution, you know, we're moving into this dharmic path. I mean, that's the only path that I've heard about after the karmic path, you know, but what else is there? The edge of unknowingness. So what is the edge of unknowingness, and how can we start, not kill it through definition, but start exploring that a little bit more?
Yeah, I would love to do it already now. And when I look into world, even we are made that change inside of us. How many of us? 6 now in this call, yes? And maybe some couple hundred or whatever people will listen to this our conversation. They're kind of like participating in a time with us as well. But when you look into world, there are not many people yet who can think this way, who can exist in these energies. And we still need to live, and we still need to have life experience. So we are in that transition period. So if we kind like can allow them to still work on their intuition and healing and use from time to time, not knowingness that you can already guys use. You can use knowingness, you don't need intuition. It's a much deeper connection to universe, but a lot of people still very happy when they can use intuition in the right way. So we kind like have that environment today, it's transition. So we need to find way how we can even have the joy seeing them in a world. They can't move where you are inviting Martina. They can't. So it's not timing for them yet.
No, yeah. Let me just show you something. So this is that, yeah?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is that. All right? To change this whole perspective. And let's remind ourselves, this is the Earth Nouveau Hub. We're working in the embassy in Inner Earth. The reason for that, we could have chosen anything else, but I chose that from the very beginning because the focus is not on the people with the bodies only. The focus is mainly for me, more and more coming into focus on the people without the bodies. Yeah, working as the teachers with the celestial citizenship, just like what we said early on. We want to get those guys, you know, have a perception of them where we can have communications with them. Now look around the fire, yeah? There are not many people with bodies around the fire, but there are masses of people without bodies, right? And every week we have more. That's why we have to remind ourselves to keep looking who's around the fire. So our focus is going from a human perspective into a multidimensional perspective where we can be fully integrated humans so that we become those teachers, right? Multidimensional teachers that we are. And I've always been very much aware that, you know, I don't care how many people are on here, as long as I have you guys here, I can have a conversation with that is actually fun and joy and leads to somewhere, because I know the unseen is our main audience.
Agreed with you 100%. I just reminding myself all the time, you are that fulcrum point for those beings without body. That's why they came to me, for example, to you, to everyone who can perceive them, because they already not capable to work with a lot of human beings who can't perceive them. So they choose us. So I remind me all the time not to be disconnected from all levels of existence, all levels of experience. I'm not choosing experience, a lot of experience of those people with bodies. A lot of experience doesn't make sense for me anymore. It's not my choice of experience, but I'm not, how we call it, crossing out their existence next to me.
No.
I'm just keeping my eye on them all the time, what they are doing. And whenever I can make my statement, whenever I can shift more, I all the time active, but I'm not doing a lot of those activities, what people do with bodies, a lot. It's not interesting for me. Yes, I'm looking like in this hour connection to that part of experience without bodies. And again,
and there's a link again, darling. There's the link again, oneness, right? As we are working with the ones without bodies, they're all shards, parts, and avatars as well of the ones with bodies. So we're just working in the background. Okay. So I think, I mean, look, we've all been healers. We've all been doing sessions, and people and, you know, clients, they fall away. Well, I didn't choose necessarily that consciously. All of a sudden they're not there. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Reminder, I'm working with the unseen. So we're just going backwards because we're working with we're starting to understand that we are multidimensional beings. So it doesn't matter if you work with a shard or somebody who is a guide, you know, we're still working with the entire soup of creation.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's not just us on planet who are gaining an awareness of being a multidimensional being. It is also those who haven't totally crossed over, who've gotten stuck in that archon grid, where there was an energetic barrier right from the fall of energy, where they don't have a full understanding of connecting in the multidimensional heart space. And I was working with two of my ancestors this week on that connection, right? Helping them be connected to their higher being, right? Even though they don't have a part of them incarnated here on Earth Mother, they still are opening to an awareness of that multidimensionality. And when we as mediums, you know, in all of that dimensional, multidimensional space can talk to those beings, right? Then we really start getting somewhere, I think.
Then we can embody that experience, that remembering that we are multidimensional beings, even in our physical body.
Yes. And that's when we're going to bring it all together, you know?
Yep.
We are doing exactly what we've come here for. We're choosing that. It just sometimes doesn't look like we think it should look like, right? But it's this reminder, and I want this to become a weekly reminder that we are working with the unseen a lot. This is the whole setup. And let's keep each other reminding that we are sitting around that fire, reminding, you know, that we're doing that. And, you know, even if we just have to in the beginning, because it is such a weird thing, maybe for people who listen, and what the hell are these chicks are talking about? Make it up in the beginning. If it flows and you're having these conversations, obviously your voice talking to yourself, you ask a question, you answer yourself, or, you know, you might get, I don't know, whatever kind of, you know, sentient you are. Yeah, record it, and then listen, maybe leave it a week, and then record thinking, oh my God, that's interesting. Did I, you know, ask the question and then answer myself and all that kind of thing. And it's practice. It's habits need to be practiced up to 40, 50 times, you know, until it becomes the thing. So I think the more we do that kind of thing, we need to start reminding all of ourselves, to keep practicing working with the unseen. What does it look like? What comes up for us, guys, you know? And how can we start sharing that for people who want to hear it? And in particular for me, it's like, let's keep each other inspired. If nobody, you know, of the body ones want to hear it, that's fine. The other ones want to hear it. They do want to hear it, because we are teachers to them. And just like Tanya said, I mean, you know, all the ghosts, most of the ghosts don't know that they even died. Why do they come? Because they need to be told, hey, Schnucki, you haven't got a bloody body anymore. Oh, really? Pop. off they go. It's that
Mhm.
quickly, you know. So, and I think, you know, I mean, we are mediums of peace. Not everyone chooses that. We know that, but it's time for us to acknowledge that. And this is the focus. Our main focus is now, as far as I speak for myself, of course, my main focus is when I get irritated slightly with what's going on around me, focus, okay, I'm seen. And I'm happy. I don't even have to expand myself anymore because the energy comes in right away through the choice.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
I always wonder when you would say we are the teachers of them, they want to hear from us. I always wonder about that. Why are we the teachers for them? Is there a bigger, broader explanation that you can furnish that to help me to understand why would they come to us to listen to what we have to say or to be their teacher or something like that? Just for those of us who don't really grasp the bigger picture on that particular subject of we being the teacher, and that's why they're coming to us.
Okay. So if I chime in, my thing is School of Hard Knocks, Earth, human. We've been knocked around. We live the duality. We live polarization. We know what learning is, lessons are. We are capable of having experiences, emotional experiences, be this now anger, sadness, you know, happiness and all of that. They don't have that. That gives us, and that gives us the, what's the word? That's why we're teachers. Yeah. We are going through the experience. We are having experiences here that they don't have because of the polarity. And it's not, we're not doing it. We've done it for 54 bloody millions plus, right? Back and forth. And we have also not just the experiential and the emotional level here, but we also have still the capacities of helping them. I mean, how many of us go to the void space continuously to drag those soul shards of the lost and forgotten ones back, bring them back, because we have the soul codes to so many different places and everything. That's just top of my head what comes to me. It's an earned teaching diploma. It's earned, we've earned it.
You don't get experience out of reading a book, so they have to learn it from somebody living it.
So we're like the horse's mouth in the experience. And so they're coming to us as someone who can bring a firsthand experience to them of something that they'll probably never have.
Well,
because we're in the galactic ascension machine.
Have had as well. Remember, Lana, you know, you're an avid listener to AB. I mean, he often said, we have to reteach them how to have a family,
Children,
how to have children, how to give birth and all of that, because they haven't done it for a couple of thousand years.
Million, yeah.
Years, whatever. Yeah.
Million years.
I have a quote from the same show when he's talking about soul shock.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, 500 trillion beings volunteered through soul contracts to be involved in experience of transition from non-free will to free will in awareness. Those beings agreed to take part in accumulating and resolving karma for all unincarnation event of those times. For those 500 trillion beings, it was a soul shock, and part around 50 billion made it to the end, and those beings are us. That's why those who are coming to us in no body existence. This is those who started, but they couldn't survive to the end. It's only from 500 trillion, only 50 billion. So this is us. And all we connecting, exactly. And all we connecting to, this is the beginning of this transition from non-free will to free will, but they couldn't make it to the end. It was too harsh for them, or who knows what happened.
So I am getting what you're saying is that from the 500 trillion beings that started off, only 50 billion made it in the event. We're living the event now. The event started. So those are the ones that are coming to us because it was so hard for them. They had to cut out and couldn't make it to the end.
Yeah.
So they want to hear from us and learn from us what we've learned in this galactic ascension machine process. Yes?
Exactly. What they couldn't go through.
You know, and remember also what AB says is those incarnated on Earth, we're the best of the best of the best, right?
Yes.
The teachers and the healers.
Yeah, this is
and the grounders.
Exactly. This is end of quote. We are the best of the best.
And don't forget,
who made the graduation of now.
We're the best of the best of the best in the last 25 million universal generations. So that is something in itself. 25 million universal generations. Yeah.
Exactly. Yay.
And that
but,
the bum on the street and everyone, okay? Every single one that is on this planet today.
Exactly. In human body, in inner earth, in astral world, all that 3 timeline of Earth's experience, this is what includes those 50 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
It makes you feel very humble, you know, to be here now. And if people can understand how to humble themselves a little more, then perhaps they would awaken more.
No.
All the war would end, you know.
The humbling comes once you've stepped into the potency first. The main thing now is people need to understand that they're not idiots, that they're not limited beings. That's number one. Look at what, use your awareness and look how many people are still stuck in mediocrity.
Oh gosh.
It's the bridge. The bridge is step into the potency, clap yourself, whatever that thing is, you know, slap yourself on the back, give yourself a pat on the back. As soon as you acknowledge it, you go into humbleness anyway, or joy or that, you know what I mean? The main thing is potency first.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the old wisdom of indigenous peoples. They say, be humble for you made of earth, be noble for you made of stars. And people usually jumping from one to another. When you can make your stop in the middle, I call that state grace. When you have enough of humbleness, enough of nobleness, the same amount, and you stopped in the middle, and you can embrace and nobleness and humbleness together. This is the beginning of ascension, beginning of remembering, beginning of returning your memory about you are multidimensional, what this was experience about, and all details.
And all of that leads into joy, right? We're not doing this. There is no ego behind it. We're all teachers. We're just having a chat because we're having fun with it. It's that, all the grace and the humbleness, that all comes and they translate into joy, right?
Exactly.
Blissfulness.
But exactly. I was just thinking about something here as you guys are talking. If there's 50 billion beings on the planet on the 3 different timelines, and the thought that I was having is that those that are living for example, the subsurface and inner earth, their experience, and tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong, their experience would be less than our experience up here on the surface, because on the surface we're having more dynamic experience than ever. It's where all the drama and trauma and everything is going on. So the 8 billion people up here would be even a more potent teacher than perhaps those that would be in the inner earth or the astral world. Would I be correct in saying that? I mean, I could be wrong, but we're having more of a potent experience on the surface, on the graduation timeline. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know if we can make a distinction between those. I don't see that. I think it's more like, okay, speaking from a as a walk-in perspective, why did my walk-in soul come out of inner earth to come onto subsurface? Because he wanted to be part of the celebration.
Could it be it wanted more of a deeper experience of what is happening on the surface, because in the inner earth it's not having that?
Yeah, and
It wanted
celebration.
more excitement.
Yeah, because
In
this
my-
is a celebration. We have to remind ourselves, this is a celebration. We're supposed to be celebrating the achievement of all of that. I'm getting that, you know. Yes, and you're absolutely right, because it's been the fray, and let's just all get together, and you know, let's have and anyway, the other thing is, having a body is the most amazing experience. It's so much more fun. We can eat, we can drink, we can experience stuff that you can't do when you're just floating around in a 7-8 dimensional, you know, beingness, right?
But the inner earth beings, they do have bodies, some of them.
Yeah. That
But
well,
they're still
that's
not having that same drama experience that we're having up here.
In my vision came, when you asked this question, Lana,
Yeah.
in my vision came, in my memory, sharing of Andrew when he said they took position of non-involvement when they could step into game and make some kind of decision, some kind of direction choice for entirety of experience, but they stuck in that neutrality and took position of just observers, not involvement and not influencing. And this is what brought for them kind of like disconnection from entirety of experience. It's
So-
kind of like what came to me.
So that's what it's saying to me, is that we're still having more of an experience up here than they ever could have down there,
Yeah.
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
they stopped their involvement, get the experience. But then again, there's the ones in the inner earth, they're very, very old.
Yes, but look, we are in our unawareness, but we are still connected. They are partially in awareness more than us, surface people, but they are not active. They choose not to act on their awareness. So we have brighter experience. We have more experience here. Yes, we have possibility to come to awareness and then act on our awareness. They choose not to act on their awareness at some point. So they deprived themselves from some kind of experience already, choosing just observer position, not acting position. It's my vision.
Yeah, but that brings me to the thought now that the ones in inner earth, they're the ones who have to make decisions now, because Andrew said that they have not dealt with their stuff in like thousands and thousands of years. So it's come to a point now where they have to deal with their stuff.
Exactly, but look what they are dealing with. With their level of awareness, they already can have oneness in their realm. They already can have more experience of a higher consciousness existence, but they still stuck in their violence, even in inner earth, with their level of awareness. So they missed point when they became aware to make
Yeah.
their choice on that awareness. We are
They're
still
like-
sleeping, a lot of human beings, we're still unaware, not us, but a lot of human beings. That's
So-
why they're choosing that war or violence, whatever.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. That I'm laughing because I'm thinking that they're stuck in like 400,000 years in the past, but at the same time they're making decisions for us up here on the surface.
Well,
Exactly, exactly.
They're controlling the governments of our world on the
Because
surface
they are
from
controlled.
in Earth, but they're 400 years backwards in time in their mentality, right?
Because while they were staying in their neutrality, a lot of positions were taken,
Mm-hmm.
and those positions now controlling them with their level of consciousness.
Yeah, it's all messed up.
Yep, yep.
And that's why we're seeing what's happening now, because everybody's scrambling to wrap up their karmic resolution process.
so we have to remind ourselves again, it's an individual journey. So let's call in our soul charts. Let's do our integrations, our revocation, our invocations, do all the good work. Keep doing it. Gets easier, and sometimes, you get one of those days where like, oops, okay, gotta go back and read my revocation or this and that. And remind ourselves of the focus. And I don't, to be honest, I don't know enough. I do remember he said, the surface is pretty much running, the subsurface is pretty much running the surface.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough what's going on there at the moment, and who's, all these lizards business, and he hasn't said anything about this, and he's pretty much the only one who does say, and I'm not seeing enough when I look down there when it comes to that level of contemplation. So I don't know. The main thing we have to focus on is we're living on the surface, and let's connect to whoever wants to connect with us. Let's reach out, and the energies are on our side. So every day is different anyway. Every day there's more awareness that is flooding in. And that's it, really.
Well, he did give a little bit of an update because somebody asked a question in the last Thursday's call-in show
What
about
did he?
what was happening. It's complicated for me to explain. It's about what's happening in Russia and Ukraine situation there. So I don't know if Irina heard what he said. Irina, you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Mhm. I'm listening.
Did you listen to last week Thursday's call-in show?
You
Andrew?
share, because I missed some part. I still didn't listen again. So you share what you got.
Well,
So I
he
heard
did-
it, Lana.
Yeah, okay.
So there was a caller who asked about Ukraine, and what Andrew said was he likened Ukraine to Russia as US to Mexico, where there's a lot of corruption in Mexico. The drug cartels pretty much run everything. And what he was saying about Ukraine is it was Putin's idea to break up the drug cartels. And that's why he went in. And then he realized, our military is really not suitable to do this job. Right. So that's what I remember him saying from Thursday about what was going on. It's like Putin trying to fight the cartel and dark web oligarchy, right? That has taken a stranglehold on that area. Just like what's going on with Mexico.
I heard that, and when I was tuning in that, you see, Andrew is talking on some level of vision of event, and his vision that level of mafia or whatever. It's world mafia. It exists everywhere in each country. So there is, of course, it's still fight for domination, control, and controlling situations and places and countries and everything. I see that level as well. But again, for me, more valuable to look through all layers, not just one layer. And for me, connecting this situation with soul shock, it was like I touched the bottom. So it's, for me, explains more what is healing happening, not just what is fighting continuing, what kind of healing happening, or even making place to say, guys, you can heal this. So yes, he is looking on that level of bigger pieces of historical events, what's happening. For me, more valuable to see not only horizontal, but vertical.
Well, and there's so many layers to everything that we can look at, right? When we talk about the multidimensional healing that's going on, right, within ourselves individually, right? It's not just this right here that is working on healing. It's a depth and a breadth that we're all still opening to that individual understanding.
Exactly. And growing up with that energy, what is Putin represents, yes, knowing, because I lived in that country, I lived in Soviet Union, I know exactly what kind of energies Andrew is not counting on. Again, he is grabbing and taking big layers, big formations, and seeing how they move. I know what people going through, and they don't want to substitute any mafia, if he is calling it mafia, that going in Ukraine. It's only one country among all Soviet Union countries. It was 15 countries. Only Ukraine was able to step into democracy and complete independence. Everything else, Putin grabbed under his domination. Everyone from those 15. And this was like a bone in his throat, I need to take Ukraine. And this is what I see happening closer to human experience. People don't want Putin mafia instead of any mafia they were trying to form through these years from Soviet Union gone. They don't want Putin mafia at all.
I think we probably can safely say it's taken out a big chunk of the domination and control that will have a ripple effect all over the world.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah.
And my vision, it's a last piece of Soviet Union dying.
Yeah. And
really.
It will have a huge ripple effect, like probably into Mexico, and God knows all the other cartels and all of that.
Exactly. It's changing control thing going in the world. Yeah.
Exactly. So, they're all shitting their pants now, see what the hell is going on. When is this?
That's why they're quiet now. Yeah. They're allowing people on the ground to fight. You see, everyone is watching. Where do I move? Yeah.
I'm just gonna, be interested who's gonna wash all that dirty underwear. It's not gonna be me.
Oh, God. Exactly. That's why
Burn it on the fire.
Exactly. That's why very important for those who can keep big picture, universal citizen and human being together. Not to start, because it will come time. It's starting now already. I already watching it. It's starting now when those politicians come into this plate and try to grab their portion. Where are my billions?
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's already happening. It's starting now.
yeah.
So we are still in that mess around us, but you, like you guys said, you can choose different existence even during this transition time. Just focus on what is truth for you and don't allow that triggering thing stuck in you. Take everything out, look at that, transform it, integrate or cancel, whatever your choice is.
And look beyond the scene. Look beyond what you can see. You know, you could even take, I mean, take a Putin, take any one of those players, and just look at his charts and avatars. Just look behind, without obviously, you know, violating any sovereignty rules here. But just, you know, say, okay, well, what you see is not necessarily the whole picture.
What you see, exactly, exactly,
You know,
exactly. Can you imagine no experience of that soul that is Putin? Yeah, it's like Hitler, it's like Lenin, it's like any dictator. Yes, big role. Yeah, can you imagine experience of that soul? It may be the most exciting experience ever that soul could took in this entire experience, Earth and universe. So if you look at that point, you just can evaluate, is it already done? And that player must leave the play, or it still continue.
well,
So-
absolutely. And you can take it even further, because some say Putin, this is no longer Putin anyway. Yeah, this is just a clone.
Yes.
Nowhere there anymore.
Yes.
How do we know? Do we know?
Exactly. We don't know even whose soul
Just
there.
puppets.
Exactly.
I mean, let's look at Biden. It's not Biden, you know, he's been, you know, these are all puppets nowadays. So it's really worth looking into that. And then, you know, you just got to trust what you get. Like, is it really him? Oh, whatever, you know, but it's an interesting contemplation, because this is the level of contemplation and thought process that we can actually start entertaining now. Yeah, instead of getting stuck. Maybe we have to keep it to ourselves most of the times, are kind of, you know, ideas.
So true.
What is going on? But, you know, and yeah. But
And-
yeah, go ahead.
And at the same time, if you can tune into the depth of picture, what's happening, width of picture, what's happening, you can make that statement. You really can evaluate experience and say, okay, that player already done. I don't want that game anymore in my universe, on my Earth. So entire universe, entire everything, take care of that. And you heard. Universe is listening.
Yeah, and it's very interesting when you come from this place of authenticity and this really resonates with you, you will come across the voice that you're speaking it is like, oh yeah, I'm getting it. I totally get it. Yeah, you're right. Right? This is the thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not saying
Exactly.
that I come across like that, because, you know, I'm not really invested either way. I don't really, you know, okay. But when I heard it, I thought, interesting perspective. Yeah. And it was said with such authenticity and like, okay, oh, why not?
And remember, Andrew told us, remind us that a lot of human beings here remembering or even structuring how they will become planets, how they will become stars or anything. So we are kind of like looking at that, and we can already step into that kind of position, start to make your statement as guidance for universal experience. Because we are eventually looking into that, becoming planets, stars, universes.
And in order to get there, you know, every single one of these 50 billion we were talking about that came back and they made it are playing their part. So he's not right nor wrong. This is the part he is playing, to teach whatever.
Exactly. It's only timing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only timing thing. He triggered that event, that soul shock healing. Now it's time for him. When we remember, we got a message from universe, whoever came into play. Now we can take this flag and say, okay, we are carrying that flag now. We are healing shock, soul shock trauma. We don't need war anymore. We don't need that slap on the face. We don't need that violence. We got it. We can heal our soul shock. We got it. We don't need violence. Done. So that soul experience can go.
Yes. And then another reminder, we are living in a free world universe. And that is often misunderstood as well. If you say that, they don't have choice. Well, we all have a choice.
And we are choosing all the time.
Bargain at times to, to look at that, but we all have a choice. And just because we haven't chosen to live there or be there, be part of all of this, doesn't mean we have to feel bad or superior or anything else. Everyone is playing their part. And we've all done this in other lifetimes. We've been involved so many times in wars and this and that. And we've been there, we've done it all. We just didn't have to choose it this lifetime.
Yeah, and in synchronicity with timing of experience, if you can feel that timing thing for universal experience, for Earth experience, this is the biggest help. This is that knowing we were talking about, from depth of your beingness, from depth of your connection to Earth, to universe. If you feel that timing thing, you can support event with that timing, saying, yep, it's a time now. Good, done.
And again, you don't have to even talk about it. You just know it's that knowingness that doesn't require particular feelings or words or anything like that. It's just, I'm observing this.
Exactly. For a lot of people, they don't need to talk.
Yeah. Good, lovely, lovely ladies. Any closing words?
I just have one quick thought. As we launch ourselves into the full moon, which happening tonight for me, tomorrow morning for you. This 13-day cycle in the galactic calendar started, with the one warrior. So I'm just thinking about the warrior energy. And, we've talked a lot about war today and how that's manifesting on our planet right now. And, but what does it mean to be a warrior when you're not choosing duality experience, right? We're warriors of peace, warriors of love, warriors of joy. How can we stand strongly in our power and, make our choices for our own journey? But as we go through this 13-day cycle, on the equinox, which is Sunday morning here, it's a dragon day. So if we count through the tones and the glyphs of the galactic Mayan calendar, red dragon day on the equinox. So let's embody that warrior dragon energy.
Fantastic. Oh, that's such a good question, but do contemplate that. Such a good question. What comes up when you ask that question is, I'm a warrior of creation and choice. I used to be a warrior of conflict and a warrior of war, but now it's not even warrior of peace. No, it's choice and creation, experience. And that warrior energy is an intensity that I will never give up, because that's part of the potency. I'm loving it. It's a warrior. It's a dharmic warrior.
The dharmic warrior.
We are dharmic warriors. That's what we are. We do whatever it takes in order to create.
With joy.
Building up the mighty swords of light.
Yes. In contribution for the kingdom of we. And it starts with the kingdom of I first. It's always like that, right? In order to be that contribution that we can truly be.
I like to say that being a warrior is a warrior as in a warrior of peace, but also in self-defense, because you're not approaching in the process of, I want to have a war with somebody. You're always walking your journey in peace, but you always have your self-defense stick with you, in case you're attacked or something like that. You are the warrior to take care
Why
of your own self.
why would you even accept that you can be attacked? In that world that we're going to build, that we are stepping, it's not experience anymore. Done, cancel. We're done with that.
Yeah, but we're still in it right now. So we, at the present moment, we're walking as the warrior, but in self-defense, just in case something should approach us that we need to take care of. Like when an experience comes to us and we say, I do not consent to that. That's the kind of warrior. You're like the warrior of saying, I don't consent to you. Get out of my face.
Warrior
sort
of
thing,
choice and free will.
Yeah.
That's why we are going through healing, not even having that possibility for any conflict, for any duality, for any fight or attack or anything. If you healed inside, that vibration ceases to exist in you completely. It's not coming in your awareness at all. Then it is movie of your life. And this is where you are stepping on next level, and you can make your statement for earth and for universe. I do not
get what you're saying.
agree.
I get what
Yes.
you're saying.
Yep.
I need to say something. Every time you have a negative thought, you throw out your vagus nerve.
Yep.
Every negative thought. You know what it takes? What would it take for us to be such masters? We would be ascended masters. We would have to be ascended masters not to have a negative thought. I don't know we're going into that, but it's going to be a long process. So I would like to call myself a warrior of awareness. A warrior of awareness where I can say, if I have to take a stick, I don't like calling it self-defense, because that is almost limiting my potency of being aware, of knowing what to do whenever it takes. Yeah. It's almost like it's just an energy, but you know me and words. I would say warrior of awareness, that I'm aware to do whatever it takes to maintain my sovereignty, to maintain my physicality, my biology, and that kind of thing. Awareness is the trump bloody card. If you have awareness at all times, it doesn't matter, negative, positive, whatever, you will be able to do whatever it takes.
Whatever need to be done in situation, not to go in experience that you don't want.
That's correct. That takes out the judgment, because you're working on awareness. That is the key. Awareness is change. Because let's face it, it's gonna take a little bit of a while until we get to that stage where, we are ascended masters. And when that time comes, we'll probably, there are no ascended masters walking on this planet yet. Okay.
Yeah, we become ones.
We become, but let's give ourselves a bit of, otherwise we just put ourselves under a whole load of fucking, what's the word, stress here. Yeah, no, just be aware whatever it takes. Have your prick in your purse, Lana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Have it in your purse if you need it, right?
Yeah.
And make your choices, your turns to live, to live in that world you want to live.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, on those, what was your question again, Tanya? It's such a nice question. Let's throw that question out one more time. What kind of warrior?
What does it mean? What does it mean for you to be a warrior?
Yeah.
Are you a warrior? Are we all warriors?
Yeah.
What does that energy mean? And how is it working in our lives?
How does exactly? Fabulous. Thank you very much, girls. Great conversation at the edge of unknowingness. And I see you next week. Have a good one.
Thank you, Martina. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.